Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show today, U.S. city volunteers arrived at the NYC Police Association to hand out cash cards to police officers who are also disaster victims. As farmers tend to pump groundwater to water their fields, we find out why this process is affecting the lives of Taiwan citizens. And in today's feature reports on Taiwan's unique trade, we meet a group of archaeologists who are working at a heritage site. We kick off today's show in the United States. After Hurricane Sandy struck the east coast of the United States, New York City police officers had to work 16 hours a day to help the disaster victims clean up their homes. However, many police officers were actually disaster victims themselves who only had the opportunity to clean up their home when they were off duty. To help these public servants, city volunteers went to the NYC Police Association in downtown Manhattan to hand out cash cards to 73 police officers.
Sir, I'm a police officer in the NYPD.
I've been a New York City police officer for 22 years.
We were working 7 days a week, about 16 hours a day, and on my day off, I took 3 feet of water through my house.
Still had to go to work and do the 14, 15, 16-hour days. You have to take care of yourself, but you have to try and take care of other people too.
Hurricane Sandy caused one of the most serious disasters that this city has ever faced. Thanks to the New York City's police officers, city's relief distributions were completed without incident. However, many NYC policemen are also disaster victims who put their own problems aside to serve the public first.
The people who serve, public, like you guys, are the first priority we need to help.
This time around, city volunteers went to the NYC Police Association in downtown Manhattan to distribute $600 cash cards to 73 police officers.
The police put the public first and carried out their duties with regard to the disaster victims. When they get back home, they still had to clean up their own homes. We should give them our love and care without delay.
When this happened, this to happen, a lot of people promised a lot of things that they would help, but your organization is the first people that actually came through and delivered.
When I'm at work, I will give my job and the people that need me 100%. And then inside, was pretty frantic about my family, especially when I couldn't contact them for a couple of days. I lost contact with them. I had no idea where they were. So it was a little hard, and then, I was able to get back to go rescue them. That's just what you do, is you give to your community.
You went to work for many days in a row for probably more than 12 hours a day, and doing that after you did your shift, you still had to go home and face the disaster that was in your own home. Being a police officer is something that you are, so they understand the nature of the business and the nature of the beast. You go there, you do your job, you come home, and you take care of your family. Let me thank you for allowing us to give you that up. Let me thank you for thanking me.
Taking off their uniforms, these police officers show their soft side, proving that they also need somebody's sincere care.
Last Saturday, on November 24th, in the township of Toms River, New Jersey, city volunteers held an aid distribution for a total of 561 residents. The recipients all came from the hard-hit township of South Toms River, Ocean Gate, and Toms River. One of those picked up her cash card was 93-year-old Ann Kostoma, whose house was destroyed by the hurricane. As the distribution day fell on her birthday, she said the care and supplies given by Tzu Ji made it one of the best birthdays in her life.
I'm so thankful for these people that have helped me, and this is the best birthday I ever had.
Here at the distribution site at Toms River, in addition to local residents, residents from Ocean Gate and South Toms River are also here to pick up the much-needed cash cards.
To explain it to the kids and that about why we can't go back home, for Christmas and that, but I really appreciate it. It's going to make a difference.
With help from the Red Cross and local government officials, the event went smoothly.
So many people come together to help other people, and it's amazing to me. It's really, truly amazing.
For an organization to give money to people, to $600 money, is unheard of. I mean, I've never heard that before in my life. I can quite honestly say I never heard of the organization before, but I'll never forget it. I can tell you that much, that's for sure.
Several local residents also put on their volunteer vests.
I'm here helping out as much as I can. I feel like it's my town, my beach. I love it and I want it back, so I want to help people.
When I came here after I got done with all of my things, everybody's hugging me. I mean, it truly is a very, you can feel the love, and it's incredible. It's incredible. So I would strongly urge anybody that's looking for a really good organization to volunteer for to sign on. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much.
Thanks to the help of Tzu Chi and other organizations, residents here are moving past their sadness.
In preparation for their upcoming winter aid distribution, volunteers in China's Zhangzhou recently held home visitations in 8 townships, altogether visiting more than 300 families. As volunteers went door to door, they saw traces of past year's distributions, proving how much these yearly distributions mean to the community.
Seeing the Tzu Chi volunteers, 85-year-old Shen Songnian excitedly shows them the bag in which he received last year's aid supplies. At another household, a blanket given by Tzu Chi is still in use. This year marks the 4th year of the annual winter aid distribution in Zhangzhou, China. Recipients include Shen Ruiyan, who was left paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident.
This hand is fine. You can massage and stretch these fingers. Please have her do this when she has time.
My family is not well off, but after taking a closer look, I can see that in our family we are there to care for each other. Correspondingly, if I don't spend some time with them, they will feel alone and sad.
Senior Guo Laixian lives in what originally was a barn. Although her surroundings are not ideal, she has learned to focus on the high points in her life.
Last year, I was so happy. I thought I would be only getting 1 bag. Getting 2 was such a nice surprise.
Although poor, residents here have already learned the valuable lesson of finding contentment in what life brings.
In Taiwan, as rainfall is unevenly distributed throughout the year, the island often faces water shortage problems. To find ways around this, many farmers tend to pump groundwater to water their fields. However, this has created a problem of land subsidence. It is predicted that if this problem continues, in 10 years, Taiwan's high-speed rail will no longer be operational, as the land on which it sits will become uneven.
High-speed rail travels up to 300 kilometers per hour, making it from Taipei to Kaohsiung in just 90 minutes. As society changes to fit our need for conveniences and speed, Taiwan is now faced with a land subsidence problem in Yunlin County's Tuku Township, where the high-speed rail bridge sits. Many blame this danger on the excessive use of groundwater. Near Yunlin County's high-speed rail, in a radius of 3 kilometers alone, there are 11,000 wells. Why do farmers have to use groundwater? The problem lies in the uneven distribution of water resources.
In Taiwan, rainfall mainly happens in May and June during the rainy season, and in July, August, and September during the typhoon season.
Although Taiwan's accumulated precipitation is 2,500 millimeters, which is 90.5 billion tons of water, 20% of the precipitation evaporates, 60% returns to the ocean, 5% becomes groundwater, and the remaining 15%, or 13.6 billion tons, is not nearly enough. Putting together the needs of the areas of agriculture, individual consumption, industry, and agriculture, Taiwan's water consumption is 18.0 billion tons, which exceeds the amount of yearly rainfall by 4.6 billion tons.
Many countries use groundwater as emergency water. If you use emergency water as everyday water, then there won't be enough left when an emergency arises.
The result is that Taiwan is paying a high price for the misuse of its groundwater. Here in Changyuan Elementary School, the problem of sinking foundations outshines the colorful walls that surround the school. Even the electric outlets on the walls needs to be reinstalled.
The electric outlets should normally be an easily reachable level, but these were all too low, so we moved them higher as Changyuan is prone to flooding.
A visit into the Yanwen village really brings to light the problem of sinking foundations. The village is now lower than sea level, making it prone to flooding. There is even a wall marking the level of each flood, aptly named the flood wall.
Every time there's flooding, the homeowner will make a mark for people to see how high the flood waters rose. As water flows from high to low, the flood wall stands at the lowest point in Yanwen village. What's important is to figure out a way to drain the water gathered at these low points before more water flows down into them.
What once was a 25-hectare farmland yielding crops twice a year is now Zhen'an wetlands due to saltwater intrusion.
We can't plant rice crops here, and it's close to the ocean, so we've turned this area into a wetland to control the irrigated water from nearby fields.
Pingdong's famous black pearl wax apple is a byproduct of the effect of the increase in salinity in the soil.
When the ground started sinking in Linbian, the ground's salinization level rose, and we found out that this increase in salinity produced crisper wax apples. Other crops are unable to survive on this land. Even if they do, they produce small yields.
The overdrawing of groundwater in Taiwan has caused significant foundation sinkage in Yunlin and Pingdong areas. The sinking of foundation is irreversible once it happens, and slowly thus altering Taiwan's topography forever.
Since its establishment, Tzu Chi's New Shoes Scholarship Program has helped lift the burden of many families around the globe. After having helped many families in Malaysia, teachers and students reciprocated Tzu Chi's kindness and love through a series of activities.
From the introduction of the New Shoots Scholarship Program to date, the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur Selangor chapter has made home visitations to over 8,200 families and provided tuition aid to 7,754 students. As many students are from various Tamil primary schools, at many of the award ceremonies, teachers have stepped up to host the ceremonies in Tamil so that the Indian families may gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi.
Actually, I want to do some service to Tzu Chi, but because of I'm teaching in my school, a lot of work to do. It's some sort of a service I can do. I feel very happy. I really admire Tzu Chi people. I don't know how to describe you all. I can't put in words. You know, I really admire. Every time the Tzu Chi program, I will observe and observe, and I don't know how to appreciate their sacrification.
Many of the parents acknowledge Tzu Chi's charity work, and at the award ceremony, many of them express their gratitude for the love and care that Tzu Chi has shown, even if they are not of the same race or religion.
Actually, just now when I see the ladies sharing the story, I'm actually in the verge of tears. Feel sorry for them. But I'm also very happy. We can see that they don't care whether you are Chinese or you're an Indian or a Malay. We all are united like one family.
Although they are poor, 543 parents still donate money to become Tzu Chi members, ensuring the river of love continues on.
I'm very happy for this help from Tzu Chi. With this money, I can buy clothes for my children. There are people who are also poor like me, so I am donating 5 Malaysian ringgit to help others.
To reciprocate the kindness, the students and Tzu Chins took to the stage for a sign language performance in which they expressed their heartfelt gratitude.
many of us, when thinking of archaeology, only think of excavation process. However, the work of these archaeologists is much more. In today's feature reports on Taiwan's unique traits, we travel to Taichung's National Museum of Natural Science and meet a group of archaeologists who are working at a heritage site there.
Here at the 100 square meter Mapu Heritage Site, archaeologist Chu Hui Li is recovering whatever historical items she can find.
We are digging out items left behind from our ancestors. Like what we are seeing right now, this is a net sinker.
The net sinker is an indication of how our ancestors made a living through fishing, and the broken pieces of pottery are like pieces of a puzzle.
What we see here are quite a few broken pieces. This is a part of a red piece of pottery, and this came from a gray piece.
Chu Hui Li takes a photo to keep as evidence.
We need to clearly mark the exact location in which we dug out the item, which pit and layer, and the day it was discovered.
Whether it is pieces of broken pottery, stoneware, or animal remains, these archaeologists file each individually.
Through the tens of thousands of pieces we recover, we try to understand what life was like for our ancestors.
Discovering a lost history is the common goal of all archaeologists. This is a soil drilling tool, which is first plugged into the ground, and after turning it, soil from different depths is collected.
We recovered 15-centimeter long layer of soil, and now we will line it up on the ground according to order. This way, we may discover historical items, such as a porcelain or even things left behind from the Japanese colonial period.
Through Chu Hui Li's explanation, one gains a deeper understanding of the past. After working in the industry for over 3 decades, the archaeologist suffers from occupational injuries and has missed out on spending time with her children.
My children were quite annoyed that I wasn't home all day. In fact, when you are devoted to archaeology, it is a lifetime work.
To recover historical items is hard work that requires many human resources. Thus, the National Museum of Natural Science employs over 20 contract workers to speed up the excavation work.
We recover many different items, so it is quite interesting.
To understand the lives of those from the past, Chu Hui Li and her colleagues have spent over a decade in trying to return the Hui Lai heritage site to its original look.
At the Hui Lai Heritage Site, this is the 6th body we've discovered on the 24th tomb. It is a middle-aged man who was buried with his face lying towards the west. You can see his teeth and the custom of teeth extraction.
The work of an archaeologist is not only carried out in the field, but also in laboratories.
We used plaster to fill the missing pieces so we can gain an understanding of the size of this item.
Every item recovered is then sent to a storage room at the National Museum.
In our storage room, where the temperature is set at 20 degrees and the moisture level at 55 degrees, every recovered item is well maintained. Each of them has an ID number to tell us where it came from and its reference number.
Exhibitions are held regularly where these historical items are put on display.
We shouldn't just look to the future, because sometimes our ancestors have left behind much history that is worth learning from.
Through the work of these archaeologists, children of our generation are given an opportunity to learn more about our history.
In Taiwan, the Victory Potential Development Center for the Disabled has joined hands with Family Mart to establish the country's first convenience store that is also a work center. Thanks to the collaboration between the two, people with special needs finally are given a chance to work and become financially independent.
你好，欢迎光临关东煮丝肉39元，大杯咖啡，第2杯7折。我想一杯中杯拿铁，一杯中杯拿铁吗？
Working inside this convenience store is 25-year-old Xiaoni, who is busy taking care of her customers. In spite of the busy schedule, this job provides her with a friendly atmosphere.
Every month I get my own pocket money. The store manager and vice store manager are very nice to me. I really like them.
The store manager, Xiaoni, is referring is Xiao Diwen, who is one of the staff at the Victory Potential Development Center for the Disabled. Diwen's main task is to teach Xiaoni the details of her job and help her integrate into society.
We will provide these assistance for our workers with special needs. They cherish the opportunity to work, so they always put in extra effort when learning.
Thanks to the store owner's thoughtfulness, people with disabilities now have more chances to interact with the public. In the future, it is hoped that more stores will be willing to do the same and give these people a chance to find a life for themselves in society. Tainan's Lian Xingyuan Education and Nursing Center is a place where adults with special needs can learn skills to make a living. One father took an early retirement to take care of his daughter, as he fears that after she graduated from school, she would have nowhere to go. Luckily, he found out about the center. The workshop teaches hand and eye coordination through simple handiwork. Here's more.
In Tainan's Lian Xingyuan Education and Nursing Center's workshop, teachers instruct students to carefully insert pencil lead inside the box. The simple task can be difficult for those with learning disabilities.
When she was in kindergarten, she couldn't complete a simple connect the dots or a check mark. It's all because teachers are patient and willing to teach her that she is able to do this now.
Li Shiting has improved greatly. A few years ago, when she graduated from vocational school, her father opted for early retirement to take care of her. But now that she's enrolled in Tainan's Lian Xingyuan working studio, he's finally breathing easy.
First, we spend time with them, and through spending time with them, we teach them skills.
If parents are patient with their mentally challenged children, children will often surprise everyone with their performance.
I want to go to DaAi TV station because I want to go with my teachers and fellow classmates and share the beauty of DaAi TV.
Being a loyal DaAi TV watcher, Li Shiting is already doing her part in creating blessings for everyone.
I want to plant seeds in the field of blessing and wish everyone peace and happiness. Going back to the United States at the end of the show, the Tzu Kindergarten in Monrovia, California, recently organized a Thanksgiving celebration where students, teachers, and volunteers prepare a series of performances and also held a blessing ceremony. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.